Well, hello everyone. This is part 3 of our series on how to help your teenager get beyond anxiety. And today we're going to be talking about the signs of anxiety and your 2 roles as a parent of a child who struggles with it. So let's get started. Well, hello again everyone. My name is Jim White and I'm an author, coach, and the founder of the Family Enrichment Academy. And today we're doing part 3 of our series on how to help your teenager get beyond anxiety. Now, before we jump in today, I did want to remind you that I do have that free resource for you. It's 10 questions you should never ask your teenager. Think of these as like the conversation killers. And then I have those 10 great questions as well, the conversation starters. And this is available at our website, which is FamilyEnrichmentAcademy.com. So be sure to stop by the website and check that out. So let's start off by taking a look at some of the signs of anxiety. You know, these are the warning signals, if you will, things for you to watch out for. And there are both physical and there are behavioral signs that I would throw out for you. And I'll just share a few for you to think about. So let's talk about some of the behavioral signs first. So if you notice that your child or teenager is maybe more withdrawn than normal, that would be an indicator. Or maybe their grades have changed or dropped significantly. Maybe they're having trouble sleeping. That would be another indicator. Or that they're maybe a little bit irritable when you try to correct them. These are all some of the behavioral signs that you might look for. Now, some of the physical signs that pop up from time to time, maybe they're complaining more of headaches or stomach aches, for example. Maybe they're experiencing a little bit more sweat than normal, you know, that old sweaty palm kind of an experience. So these, again, are some of the some of the physical signs that you may notice as well. Maybe they're a little bit jittery, you know, they have that nervous twitch about them. That's another example. So I bring these up just so you can be aware. And if you notice something like this going on, I found a lot of times my children have been pretty self-aware of anxiety, so I'll just ask them. I'll say, is there something going on maybe you're a little nervous about or something that's making you feel anxious, just to see if something pops up for them. So again, first step is just have some awareness so that you can notice these signs. Now, this is a good point to point out that it's really, anxiety is very common, and it's not a matter of if your child is going to experience anxiety. It's just a matter of when and to what level. I mean, it's just a very common thing. So I want you to feel, I don't want you to feel like this is something that's like something big that's wrong. And actually, it's the truth for us as well. I mean, if you think about it, we all experience it at some level. And I bet you could come up with a few circumstances right now, things that make you a little nervous or situations that make you a little uncomfortable as well. So again, I just want to normalize a little bit. It's not like there's something that's really, really wrong, but it is a common situation that the kids can get into. So now let's talk about your 2 roles as you move forward and trying to help your teenager get beyond anxiety. So the first role that you have, and this is a very important one, and I don't want you to kind of skip over this, is the idea of you helping to provide a safe place for them to regain their composure. So picture this, your child's going through, they're feeling anxious and they're a little bit overwhelmed by that. And so again, your first role is to provide that safe environment for them to regain their composure. And the reason this is so important is because they can't really move on or they can't move to solutions until they've regained their composure. And in fact, that's one of the common, I'll call it a mistake or something that parents do that doesn't help the situation, is they want to move past this part and just jump right into finding solutions or trying to fix the problem. But again, if the child's feeling that overwhelm, they just won't be able to move forward. So that's your first role, is to really recognize when they're feeling that overwhelm, and then just to be there and provide that safe place. And I'm going to be sharing some strategies for that in the next part of this series that we're doing on anxiety. We'll share some specific strategies for how you can help your child to regain that composure. Now, your second role as a parent is in fact helping your child get beyond that anxiety. And I'm going to remind you or point you back to the last post we did in this, where we talked about that model for behavior and the idea of that box of perception. Well, if you remember, within that box, the second piece The second thing that's happening inside of that box is that we assign meaning or we interpret our circumstances. So this step and this part of your role with your teen is going to be being able to guide or empower your teen to reinterpret the circumstance that's causing or creating the anxiety, or you could say to assign a new meaning to it. So this is a different skill set, and again, in part 5 and 6 of this series, we're going to be sharing some strategies for this particular part of the process, which is helping your child to shift their perspective, shift meaning, reinterpret the circumstances. But that's your second role. So again, my goal today has really just been to point out these two roles. The first role of providing that safe place, a place for your child to regain composure. And then the second role, we're going to move into, okay, how do we shift or reinterpret the circumstance? And that's that change that meaning. So those are the two roles. And I want to point them out because they are very distinct and different. The objectives are very different, and how you approach it needs to be very different. And then along with that, I just want to remind you that we really need to first focus on making them feel safe and helping them overcome any overwhelm before you move into that second role. So that's just another really important point that I wanted to make in this particular post. So there you have it. Those are our roles and a few ideas around symptoms that are things that point to your child may be experiencing some anxiety. So hopefully you found that helpful. Again, this is part of an overall series. We've got 4 more posts to do, and I encourage you to check those out as well. Once again, before we sign off, I want to let you know I do have that free resource, those 10 questions you should never ask your teenager, and those 10 great questions as well. So go to the website, FamilyEnrichmentAcademy.com, and you can download that free resource. As always, it's truly an honor to be able to serve and support you as you move along your parenting journey. And it really is a journey, and I just appreciate you adopting that growth mindset. I mean, it's just critical to getting through these teenage years. Until next time, remember, a change in perspective changes everything.